Brazil versus Portugal. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mills and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Brazil versus Portugal. I'm not here to compare both countries, but I just want to give their similarities and the differences to those who are considering both countries, either by visiting the countries or by staying in the countries long term. Before I begin the video, I just want to do an introduction of both countries. The official name of Brazil is the Federal Republic of Brazil. It is found in the continent of South America and it covers most of the continent's eastern part. It has an area of approximately 8.5 million kilometers square. The official language is Portuguese and the capital city is Brasilia. For Portugal, the official name is the Portuguese Republic. It is found in the southwest of Europe in the Iberian Peninsula. It has an area of approximately 92,000 square kilometers. The official language is Portuguese and the capital city is Lisbon. I'm going to start with the population. Brazil is larger because Brazil has a population of approximately 212 million people, while Portugal has a population of approximately 10.7 million people. Of course, Brazil is larger than Portugal. I'm going to talk about the economy. For the currency, Brazil uses the reals while Portugal uses their euros. Of course, euros is stronger than the reals. The unemployment rate for Portugal is 5.9%, while the unemployment rate for Brazil is 5.6%. The unemployment rate is slightly higher in Portugal than in Brazil. But when we talk about the employment rate, it's a little bit higher in Portugal than in Brazil. When it comes to job opportunities, it depends on the field. Portugal is stronger when it comes to the areas of IT, engineering, and tourism. Meanwhile, in Brazil, there is a larger diversity of opportunities that you can have. Although when you want to compare the two, the salaries are a little bit lower in Brazil. But when we talk about the average salary of both countries, in Brazil, the average salary is between 6,500 reals up to 8,500 reals. Meanwhile, the average salary in Portugal is 1,200 euros. 1,200 euros is just slightly higher than the minimum wage, which is 870. But when you look at their average salary of Brazil, you will see that 6,500 reals is higher, if not 4 times their minimum wage. Overall, when it comes to the economy, Brazil has a larger economy based on their total GDP. Meanwhile, the economy in Portugal is stronger as per capita basis. Now let's go to the cost of living. The cost of living is higher in Portugal than in Brazil. It is more affordable to live in Brazil than in Portugal. For example, let's go with the minimum wages. Now, the minimum wage of Portugal is 870 euros. Meanwhile, the minimum wage in Brazil is approximately 1,400 reals. If you were to be a single person that will live in both countries, according to the minimum wages, it's much more affordable for you to live in Brazil than in Portugal. In fact, the cost of living in Portugal is approximately 33% higher. When it comes to healthcare, Brazil has a universal healthcare which is called SUS, which is being funded by taxes, but it is free for everyone. Anybody can access the public healthcare in Brazil. Meanwhile, Portugal also has a public national service which is called SNS, which is free for citizens and residents of Portugal, but it costs a little bit on some services and prescriptions. But it is free for ages 0 to 18 and above 65 years. When you go to the private health sector, it is payable for both sides, but you pay more in Portugal than in Brazil. And when it comes to the public healthcare service, of course, we always have disadvantages, especially when it comes to the wait times. The wait times in Portugal is longer, and there are certain areas as well that is really difficult in Portugal to get an appointment. In Portugal, they always focus more on getting appointments, except you have an emergency. Meanwhile, in Brazil, even if it's not really an urgent matter, though you wait for a long time, you're still going to access the service. The healthcare system is good in both countries. Let's go to the education. Now, when it comes to education too, they have a similar system. In Brazil, it's all free for all levels, for both citizens, residents, and international students. You have only few universities that are privately owned that you pay money, but not that much. In Portugal, from 0 to 18 years, public schools are actually free, but some state-owned universities charge for international students, citizens, and residents too. It's not all that free. Next thing I want to talk about is sociability. So when it comes to sociability, of course, I will give the flowers to Brazil. Because of the population of Brazil, you have different diversity of people, making it more sociable, as well as when it comes to Brazilians as a whole, Brazilians are friendlier than Portuguese people. When it comes to safety and crime rate, of course, we cannot debate on this because Portugal is globally ranked as one of the safest countries. Portugal is safer than Brazil. The next thing I want to talk about is immigration. When it comes to immigration, both countries are very friendly. Although recently Portugal is trying to tighten the laws, Brazil and Portugal have a similar service when it comes to the taxpayer ID number. In Brazil, you call it the CPF number. In Portugal, you call it the NIF number. And when it comes to residency, they have a good system, but the bureaucracy in Portugal is slower than Brazil. For example, if you apply for residency in Portugal, it can take between 6 to 8 months just to get the actual residency card. But if you do that same application of residency in Brazil, maximum is 20 days. And considering the fact that Brazil has a larger population and a larger amount of people apply for residency, but it is much more slower in Portugal. Talk less of getting an appointment. But when it comes to the process of applying for citizenship, it is faster in Brazil than in Portugal. Now, when we talk about ordinary citizenship application, in Brazil, you just need to be resident for 4 years. But in Portugal, after 5 years, you apply for permanent residency as well as citizenship. If you're a Portuguese living in Brazil, you have only 1 year to apply for citizenship. When it comes to their passport ranking, we cannot debate on this. Portugal has the 4th most powerful passport in the world as compared to Brazil, which is between 17th to 18th position when it comes to passport ranking. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the climate. When it comes to the climate, I cannot compare the two because it depends on personal preference. Brazil has more of a tropical climate and is consistently hot with more rains and higher humidity. Meanwhile, Portugal has a milder climate with distinct seasons. Let's talk about the culture. When it comes to culture, of course, because of the population of Brazil, Brazil has a large population which is packed with diversity of people. So, of course, the culture is going to be rich. So, when it comes to culture, Brazil has a much more diverse and rich culture than Portugal. Let's talk about the language. Both of them speak Portuguese, but you have the Brazilian Portuguese and you have Portuguese. The Brazilian Portuguese is more popular than the Portuguese language because of the population. Although both countries speak Portuguese, there are some words that are slightly different. To me, Brazilians speak faster. To other languages like English, I give the flowers to Portuguese people. Approximately 70% of Portuguese people can actually speak English than in Brazil. So you can comfortably live in Portugal than in Brazil if you are an English speaker. The next one is quality of life. When it comes to quality of life, again, We cannot compare both of them because the quality of life in Portugal is higher than that of Brazil. Portugal is one of the countries that is being ranked globally due to its safety, civil rights, political stability, and health. Let's go to easy travel. When I talk about easy travel, is the country where you can easily travel from to other countries. Of course, it's easy to travel from Portugal, which is in Europe, to other continents than from Brazil, which is in South America, to other continents. I'm going to be talking about their expat community. Portugal has a larger percentage of its population as foreign-born residents than Brazil. However, Brazil has a larger total number of immigrants due to its larger total population. And let's talk about popularity. When it comes to popularity, I'm going to give the flowers to Brazil because when it comes to popularity, Brazil is more popular than Portugal because of the population of the people, as well as other prominent international activities like sports, especially football. Brazil is more popular than Portugal, of course, because of its 5 World Cup titles as compared to only 1 World Cup title in Portugal. And it has always had, and it has one of the best national teams in history. Both countries are very beautiful countries. If you're going to visit Europe, you should visit Portugal. And if you go to South America, you should put Brazil in your bucket list. But when it comes to long-term stay in both countries, I prefer Brazil. Just leave your comment in the comment section. If you were to live in both countries, which one would you prefer to live in? And tell me a reason why you chose that country. If you find this video interesting, make sure you like, share, and please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, pause the video and click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you get updated every time I upload a new video in that same live. Ciao!